welcome with your team to the Local Government Accounts Committee. As per tradition, before we start our interaction, we would like to confer Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia that give immunity to members of parliament when they sit in the House or in committees like this one, to an extent that whatever you say before this committee, PS and your team, cannot be used against you in the course of law or outside this session, as long as you share factual information that is verifiable and factual. However, the same Cap 12 can be used against you if you willfully choose to give misleading information to this committee. With the experience that you have, we don't need to emphasize you are aware. It's just a formality that we do this process. With that said, PS, I would like to once again say thank you very much for your appearance. Good morning, and you can introduce yourself and also the team that you have come with individually. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable members of the committee. My name is Dr. Gabriel Pollen. I'm the Permanent Secretary in charge of administration at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Through you, Chair, may I request that each of my team members introduces themselves. Thank you. Thank you, PS. They can do likewise.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jethro Kemwanga, Director Intern Audit from the Ministry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members of Parliament. My name is David Mushinge. I'm the Chief Accountant in the Ministry of Local Government. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members. My name is Judith Vene, ICT Director in the Ministry of Local Government. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of Parliament. My name is Patson Piri. I'm Acting Director, Department of Physical Planning, Ministry of Local Government. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. My name is Martin Sodala, Acting Director, Planning and Information, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Chazia Muskuma. I'm Assistant Director for Local Government Administration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson and members of your committee. I'm Julian Mlenga, the Clerk of the House of Chiefs from Ministry of Local Government.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Roy Chihinga, Assistant Director, Human Resource and Administration.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Honorable Members of Parliament. My name is Andrew Siwale, Director from the Office of the Control of Internal Audit. Thank you.
You have changed camps today. You're always with us.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members of this committee. I'm Satunya Jacob, Head of Procurement in the Ministry.
Thank you. We can now have the AG's office.
Morning, PS and your team. My name is Emmanuel Tembo. I'm the Acting Deputy Auditor General in charge of audits. I'm the Auditor General. Chair, I'm a campaign. I will allow my people to introduce themselves.
AG's office.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Patricia Malaila, Director from Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to you and your honorable committee, PS and your team. Good morning. My name is Vinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the
Thank you, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm the Parliamentary Liaison Officer of the Auditor General.
Thank you. Minister of Finance.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair, and good morning. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Mlenga Chama, coming from the Office of Accountant General, Ministry of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, PS. My name is Achubia Davis, Assistant Director, Local Authorities Department, Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Audit Division, and you are welcome.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, PS and my directors. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk's Office.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, everyone. I'm Anamamape, and I'm coming from the Office of the Clerk.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Namwenga Simalole from the Clerk's Office.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. PS and your team, you're welcome.
Honorable members, starting with the honorable member from Fumbwe.
Chairperson, and good morning to you. Good morning, my honorable colleagues, members of parliament. Good morning, our permanent witnesses, and good morning, Minister of Local Government, PS and team. You are welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm Member of Parliament from Fumbwe constituency.
Siavonga.
Chairperson, I thank you and good morning to you. Good morning, permanent witnesses, PS and your team. Good morning. Morning, colleagues. PS, my name is Mulonda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mitete.
Chair, thank you so much and good morning to you. PS and your team, good morning. Sir, the PS knows me with a different name. Mbwe, mbwe, mbwe. But I am Misheki Mudelo, MP for Mitete. But he knows me as Mbwe, 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 Mbwe.
Meaning what?
He knows.
It's an parliamentary. PS, we don't know. Thank you very much, our humble servant. PS, my name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair your committee, PS. We other members will join us. With that said, PS, I would want to say once again, you're welcome to your committee. This is your committee, and we would like to ask you to take us through your memorandum or your observations as submitted already. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. In respect of the submission to the Committee of Local Government Accounts by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, we present before you a memorandum on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Chairperson, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to the Office of the Auditor General for providing the report on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. The report highlighted areas in the local authorities that require improvement and enhancement of internal controls. My ministry is committed to addressing these issues as recommended by the Auditor General. I would also like to thank your committee for the oversight role you are rendering over the local authorities of ensuring accountability, transparency in managing public resources. Your intervention has provided valuable feedback that will help us improve service delivery in the local authorities. Chairperson, I would like to bring to your attention that the Auditor General relied on specific legal provision, namely Article 250 of the Constitution of Zambia, Amendment Act Number 2 of 2017, Section 13.3 of the Local Government Act Number 2 of 2019, the Constituency Development Fund, Act number 11 of 2018, and the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018, while conducting the audits and preparing this report. During the audit process, the Auditor General engaged officials in rural development, as well as officers from the local authorities. Unfortunately, the audit queries mentioned in the Auditor General's report could not be resolved during the audit, resulting in them being part of the Auditor General's report. These queries: utilization of funds, delayed completion of projects, failure to charge liquidation damages unaccounted for funds by grant beneficiaries, failure to reconcile sponsored beneficiaries from Bursary's funds, and over expenditure on the administration component. In response to the irregularities highlighted in the report, the Ministry undertook a comprehensive review and continued to provide technical support to all the local authorities. Based on the findings, the following are the key internal control weaknesses that were identified, recommendations from the Office of the Auditor General, and remedial measures put in place. On budget utilization and fund management, the insufficient use of allocated funds reflect ineffective monitoring mechanisms and the absence of proactive measures for timely fund utilization or reallocation strategies, resulting in efficient financial management. The recommendation from the auditors are: Roman numeral 1, strengthen monitoring mechanisms, implement periodic budget utilization reviews, and enhance key performance indicators, KPIs, to track fund usage in real time. Roman numeral 2, capacity building, train relevant staff on financial management and fund utilization to enhance efficiency and accountability. Chairperson, at the end of 2022 financial year, local authorities had a total of 3,200,300,595 kwacha unspent funds, which were carried forward to year 2023. Further, in the year 2023, a total of 4,704,714,492 kwacha was funded to local authorities, bringing the total funding to 7,905,015,087 kwacha. However, the local authorities only utilized 4,342,212,147, which is 55% utilization rate against the disbursed funds. In order to improve the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund, the Secretary of the Treasury, through the Treasury and Financial Management Circular number 7 of 2024, issued on 26th January 2024, implemented a zero-based balance on all government accounts held in commercial banks. Further, local authorities were directed through a circular reference dated 4th May 2025 only request funds once the balances in their bank accounts are exhausted. Chairperson, requests for funding under CDF should be for the purpose of clearing outstanding obligations. The funds should not be kept idle for more than 48 hours. Further, henceforth, local authorities are required to submit expenditure returns within 72 hours after receipt of funds, and explanations should be given for failure to utilize the funds. The introduction of a need-based disbursement approach, where funds are allocated to local authorities based on their absorption capacity and actual project requirements, aims to minimize the accumulation of unutilized funds carried forward from previous years, thereby promoting efficient and timely implementation or developmental projects at the local level. By aligning disbursements with demonstrated need and performance, the Ministry seeks to enhance accountability, optimize use, and ensure that CDF resources directly contribute to impactful community development. That have been put in place to strengthen the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund are: 1. The Ministry has ensured that all local authorities prepare and upload annual procurement plans on the electronic government system, promoting transparency and improved planning. 2. The standardization of contracts for approval from the Attorney General has been implemented to ensure legal compliance and efficiency in contract management across local authorities. The Accountant General decentralized the certification of funds, delegating this responsibility to directors of finance in local authorities, thereby improving financial autonomy and responsiveness. 4. The standardization of architectural drawings for various government buildings such as clinics and classrooms has been introduced. This aims to promote uniformity and timely construction of infrastructure projects. 5. The Ministry conducts regular capacity building programs to enhance financial management skills among personnel in local authorities. And 6. Local authorities have been guided to allocate adequate resources to internal audit functions, and both regular and ad hoc audits are conducted to strengthen oversight and accountability mechanisms. In terms of implementation of community projects, delays on non-implementation, the failure to implement approved projects, monitoring and accountability systems. Additionally, inadequate follow-up on carried forward projects suggest poor oversight, leading to a backlog of uncompleted projects which could worsen over time. Secondly, abandoned community projects after contractor is paid advance payment. The underlying internal control weakness could be because of inadequate contract management by local authorities, lack of timely monitoring, insufficient or absent due diligence before contractor engagement, absence of safeguards like performance bonds or insurance policies, inadequate project progress reviews and reporting, and ineffective enforcement of penalties or remedies for defaulting contractors. The recommendation from the auditors: A. Enhance project monitoring. Establish a robust project tracking system with regular status updates and progress reports to identify delays early. B. Strengthen accountability measures. Implement a performance-based accountability framework for project managers execution of projects. C. Formalized follow-up mechanism for carried forward projects to prevent backlogs and ensure timely completion. D. Measures against contractors who abandon projects after receiving advance payments. Contractors who were awarded contracts and received advance payments but failed to complete the projects should be subject to blacklisting to prevent future engagement with public entities. Additionally, legal action should be pursued where possible, holding them accountable for breach of contract and recovering public funds. This approach ensures deterrence, promotes accountability, and safeguards public resources by setting a clear precedent that non-compliance will result in both professional and legal consequences. E. Contractor selection. The contractor selection process should be designed to ensure that contracts are awarded exclusively to contractors with a proven track record of reliability, financial stability, and technical competence. This can be achieved by implementing stringent pre-qualification criteria, including thorough background checks, verification of past performance, financial audits, and certification of technical capacity. Additionally, maintaining an updated database of contractors' performance history, and ensuring regular evaluations will assist to identify and prioritize contractors in good standing, thereby reducing the risk of project delays, abandonment, and financial losses. In terms of response, Chairperson and honorable members of the committee, on monitoring and evaluation, the Constituency Development Fund CDF dashboard launched in 2024 has significantly improved transparency, accountability, and data-driven decision-making across all levels of local authorities, achieving an 85% data accuracy rate by year end. Local authorities have been instrumental in feeding data into the system, enabling better monitoring of CDF utilization. However, challenges such as delayed updates, network issues, and data entry errors have affected overall efficiency. In response, the Ministry of Local Development has implemented punitive measures for non-compliant local authorities and initiated a continuous training program to enhance capacity of data entry personnel. This will further enhance through the introduction, through the enhanced introduction of CDF information management system to monitor the full project cycle from identification to completion. Project implementation. The dashboard facilitates real-time monitoring of both project implementation and financial expenditure, enhancing project quality oversight. The Ministry continues to undertake annual site inspections of community projects to assess progress and quality. In collaboration with ZPPA and the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, the Ministry is training local authority staff and procurement committees to improve contract management. The Ministry conducts quarterly reviews to track CDF utilization and promptly address implementation challenges. Revision of CDF guidelines. The Ministry commenced the validation of the revised CDF guidelines on 30th April 2025 with full implementation expected by 30th May 2025. These efforts reflect the government's strong commitment to strengthening the CDF framework and ensuring that development resources are transparently and effectively delivered to local communities. Youth and women empowerment. Unapproved project changes, diverting funds to unapproved activities demonstrates weak governance and non-enforcement of compliance measures, undermining adherence to guidelines. Inadequate documentation. The absence of supporting expenditure documents raises concerns about transparency and potential fund misuse, pointing to either inadequate or non-existent accounting practices among grant recipients. Recommendations from the Auditor General. Prevent unauthorized fund diversion. Enforce strict adherence to approved project scopes by conducting regular audits. Improve documentation requirements. Mandate grant recipients to maintain detailed records of expenditures and conduct periodic reviews to ensure compliance. Training and awareness. Provide training to grant recipients on proper financial documentation and the importance of compliance with guidelines prior to the disbursements of funds. The Ministry's response, Chairperson, is as follows. The Ministry has guided local authorities to strengthen internal audit function through allocation of adequate audit resources. Further, local authorities have been engaged by conducting regular and ad hoc audits on CDF. The Ministry will continue to collaborate with civil society organizations and sector departments to train beneficiaries on financial compliance. Soft loan management, loan recovery issues. The failure to recover loans highlights weak loan recovery systems and ineffective enforcement of penalty provisions. This results in significant outstanding balances and non-compliance with repayment schedules, indicating poor credit control and the lack of deterrence for defaulters. Recommendations from the auditors are as follows. 1. Strengthen loan recovery processes. Establish a dedicated loan recovery function to monitor and enforce repayment of soft loans. 2. Enforce penalty provisions. Apply penalties for delayed repayments as per guidelines and implement automated reminders for loan recipients. 3. Improve credit control measures. Conduct risk assessments before loan disbursement and introduce creditworthiness evaluations to reduce defaults. In terms of the Ministry's response, the Ministry of Finance and National Planning signed service level agreements with financial institutions in 2023 in order to efficiently and effectively manage the loan facilities. Scope of work for the financial institutions include A. Screening of loan applications and providing guidance where necessary. B. Selection of viable business project proposals. C. Seeking approval of the list of successful loan application from the local authority. D. Providing basic business management and financial literacy training to the successful beneficiaries. E. Disbursing loan proceeds to approved beneficiaries in line with agreed business cash flow focus. F. Monitoring business performance of loan beneficiaries, undertaking loan recoveries from the beneficiaries. And H. Maintaining and updating loan records for each beneficiary. And I. Providing mobile banking facilities for beneficiaries, especially those domiciled in districts where there are no banking facilities. And J. Preparing and submitting monthly reports to the local authority on the management of the loan facility. The banks are currently helping local authorities in the loan facility. The Ministry has proposed a loan facility in order to promote projects that build community resilience. The Ministry has instructed local authorities through implementation circulars to collaborate closely with financial institutions and ensure recovery of loans. The Ministry has strengthened the monitoring and evaluation in the local authorities. Further, loan repayment performance is being considered as a key metric for recognizing high-performing local authorities in CDF management. 3.5 Bursary management. Learners not reporting. The disbursement of funds to students who did not report to lending institutions reflect inadequate verification processes prior to disbursement and weak monitoring mechanism post-disbursement. Non-compliance with bursary objectives. Sponsoring students of the bursary program, indicating insufficient oversight before and after payments to lending institutions. Recommendations from the auditors. Pre-disbursement verification. Introduce a verification process to confirm students' enrollment and willingness to attend institutions before releasing funds. Disbursements monitoring. Establish follow-up mechanisms, attendance and performance at supported institutions, and ensure alignment with objectives, which entails regularly review bursary applications to ensure alignment with program objectives, particularly in supporting skills development. The Ministry's response, Chairperson. The Ministry has issued circulars to local authorities instructing them on ensuring due diligence is done before making any payments. The CDF IMS will include variables to track the progress of learners from training to support under empowerment facilities up to self-reliance and job creation. Local authorities conduct head to disbursement of funds to skills training institutions. In addition, they perform audits to monitor class attendance. Furthermore, the Ministry undertakes spot checks to ensure compliance with set standards and procedures. 3.6 Procurement and asset management. Delayed delivery of desk contractors' failure to meet delivery deadlines highlights poor contract management and ineffective follow-up by local authorities. substandard desk supply, inadequate quality control and inspection processes led to the acceptance of defective desks, compromising value for money and diminishing the effectiveness of procurement efforts. Recommendations from the auditors: strengthen contract management, ensure that contracts are executed in specific timelines and milestones, outline the procurement contracts with for any instances of non-compliance, conduct quality inspections, implement stringent quality control checks at different stages of the procurement process to ensure products meet specified standards before acceptance. And then thirdly, regular supplier audits, perform periodic audits on suppliers to assess regular performance and compliance with contract terms. The Ministry's response is as follows. 1. The Zambia Decentralization Support Program conducted meetings and workshops aimed at strengthening procurement committees across local authorities. These sessions focused on ensuring that committee structures align with the requirements of the Zambia Public Procurement Authority Act No. 8 of 2010, particularly in terms of composition and competency standards. The Zambia Public Procurement Authority facilitated training electronic government procurement for both local authorities and contractors and suppliers. This initiative aimed to enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability in the procurement process. The African Parliamentarians Center for Budgetary Control organized workshops on key areas of procurement, including contract management, monitoring and evaluation, constituency development fund procurement, and management. The Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply conducted transformational workshops targeting procurement committees in all local authorities, facilitation of the standardization of drug contracts, and collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, promoting uniformity and legal compliance across advocacy for the increase of the simplified bid threshold from 1 million to 2 million selected authorities, thereby streamlining all value projects. Introduction of receiving committees in the local authorities to review and strengthen the receiving process and ensuring transparency, accountability, and efficiency. This initiative also aligns with the presidential directive emphasizing quality, cost, and timeliness in the delivery of public services. The committee will oversee and manage receipt of all procurable items. 3.7 General governance weaknesses: inadequate enforcement of guidelines, frequent non-compliance with the CDF guidelines across multiple areas suggest weak enforcement mechanisms and a deficient internal control environment. 2. Poor record keeping and reporting, missing or incomplete documentation impedes transparency, accountability, and proper auditing, increasing the risk of fraud and mismanagement. Recommendations from the auditors: enforce compliance with guidelines, regularly train staff and stakeholders on the CDF guidelines, and conduct routine compliance audits to ensure adherence. Improve, secondly, record-keeping systems. Digitize records and implement centralized documentation systems to enhance transparency, accountability, and ease of auditing. Thirdly, strengthen internal controls. Conduct periodic internal controls to identify and address control gaps and establish a culture of continuous improvement in governance practices. The Ministry's response is as follows. The Ministry acknowledges the recommendations and will, as earlier submitted, the Ministry has guided local authorities to strengthen audit function through allocation of adequate audit resources. Further, local authorities have been engaged by conducting regular and ad hoc audits on CDF. An internal audit manual specific to local authorities has been developed by the Ministry of Local Government Development and the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. The manual will be circulated and distributed to all local authorities in the second quarter of 2025. Increase transparency in procurement process, including the promotion of electronic government procurement systems in all local authorities. Intensify capacity building to focus on providing training and development for personnel involved in procurement integrity and auditing within local authorities. The Ministry has developed a finance manual, a tool to guide the local authorities in financial management. In partnership with the Local Government Service Commission, CDF performance is now a key metric in performance contracts to local authority officers. The CDF Act has been reviewed to mandate diversification of Constituency Development Fund membership. This aims to ensure broader representation, enhance transparency, and improve accountability. 4. progress on construction of chiefs' palaces. The ministry has been constructing a total of 124 chiefs' palaces countrywide, 80 palaces. The correctional services, 29 are being constructed by private contractors and 16 are being completed by private contractors. They were being completed previously but were not completed. It was April 2025 but has since been revised to December 2025. The palaces are on various stages of construction and are summarized in the table below. Chairperson, the table is as presented. If you permit,
yes, you can.
I can move on today.
Move on, yeah.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The committee may wish to note that each palace has 4 structures being constructed on it, namely high-cost house for the chief, 2 low-cost houses for chief retainers, and a meeting hall. In conclusion, Chairperson, the Ministry appreciates and strongly agrees with the Auditor General's recommendation. The weaknesses highlighted in the report underscore the urgent need for stronger internal controls, enhanced monitoring, stricter enforcement of compliance measures, and capacity building initiatives for staff involved in the management and oversight of Consumer Development Fund. Chairperson, I submit.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary, for that wonderful and elaborate presentation of your report on your observations and reactions to the CDF report. It is now time for points of clarifications, observations, or any comments that we feel can help the process. From now, Honorable Members of Parliament, it's your time. I will start with Honorable Member of Parliament from Fumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. And would like to thank the PS actually for that very good elaboration and a very good submission. PS, after having interacted with a lot of councils countrywide, we have a lot of challenges. We seem not to do very well indeed, as expected by the people of Zambia. On the loan recoveries, you have put in measures, and the Auditor General's office had provided measures that would help us actually on the loan recoveries. And some of the measures were already in place. But we still seem to have a lot of issues in terms of loan recovery. And you have put in, actually you have told us these are the measures. Now, the challenge that we still have, despite these measures actually being put in place, it looks like our councils are still failing. They are failing because they still feel that these monies have got, they are somehow relaxed. They are not like the loans which we get from the bank. Despite that, the government has given this money at a very minimal interest, but still more. People have not taken it seriously. You would agree with me that you and I, if we were to get a loan, we will not pay less than 16% from a bank. But this is a loan which is only 5%. And we thank actually the government of this republic, the current government, that it has really gone further to reduce it. But still we have a problem. Now, one of the problems that we have is that our councils cannot, they are somehow relaxed. I don't know where they are getting that attitude. Some of the councils, their own recovery rate is only 5%. Very few are above 20%. So, because of that, what other measures, or what are you doing as a ministry in order to encourage these councils? This time around, even actually to write demand notices. You have done very well. You have got legal personnel in their councils, but your councils are failing to utilize this. They can't even write actually demand notices to encourage these people. Even if they did, a follow-up cannot be made. What else are you doing apart from these measures? Or what should we do in order to improve? You are aware that the president, when he came to Parliament, he really emphasized that people should pay back because this is a revolving fund. Your concerns are equally our concerns. So what else should we do in order to make these Zambians pay?
Thank you very much, Honorable Kamondo, that passionate presentation. And I think the PS has also done justice in his report on the issues of loan recoveries. Really, PS is a concern. We'd like to get your comment from what Honorable Kamondo has presented on behalf of this committee. PS.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for that submission. Indeed, it's a matter of grave concern, not just to the ministry, I think to the wider public in terms of recoveries, and the fact that these funds must be made available for more people to benefit from them, and the fact that indeed they're provided at really concessional rates within the context of the broader economic spectrum of our country. Now, the main issue I think I'll highlight outside of, or basically just to amplify the last point that was raised, that there are a number of initiatives that have been put in place in terms of loan recovery. But importantly, it's to align the loan recovery performance to the performance of the principal officers themselves. And in the last point, I indicated that loan recovery will now constitute a key metric in performance management of the principal officers in general. So once this has been integrated comprehensively in the performance contract, it will then be incumbent upon the Local Government Service Commission in collaboration with the ministry to impose punitive measures against local authority principal officers that are failing to ensure that the recovery rate goes up. So I think that's one of the newest innovations. Being able to specify who is responsible for a particular endeavor is something I think broadly from incentive-based. You appreciate that as humans we respond to incentives, and punishment is an incentive, though it's negative, and we respond to it. So we expect that this will change behavior for people to behave and align in the way that they should. And there's a submission through you, Chair, for any one of my colleagues to pick that up and maybe highlight one or two things if need be, outside of what has been presented. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. But before we ask a member of your team to augment your points, we'd like to ask the people who have just joined to introduce themselves. We have been joined by Honorable Fodundumwezi. You can introduce yourself.
Chair, I'm very grateful and good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Singombe, representing the people of Dundumwezi. Thank you.
We have also our Member of Parliament for Kalurushi. Are you there, Honorable Kampamba? Honorable Kampamba? Okay, she will join us. Sir, you can introduce yourself.
Acting Assistant Director from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you. Yes, the issue of loans, as indicated by Honorable Kamondo, and you have really put it very clear, PS. It's a concern to everyone, especially your committee and the people of Zambia. They are concerned about the attitude of I will not blame the people who get the loans. It's the administration of the loans. And I'm aware of the efforts that you have put in place to ensure that we strengthen the processes. However, before you assisted, I will ask Honorable Mulunda to make a comment on the same. And also Dundumwezi.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I want to appreciate the report from the Ministry by PS. I would like to ask one question to sum up, because definitely this document, and I'm glad that PS and your ministry, you have acknowledged the weaknesses that exist in these local authorities, in internal controls specifically. Now, when you look at these weaknesses that we have highlighted, PS, these are the weaknesses that we have been meeting every day for more than 60 days, your committee through the chairperson. We have met all these. And to some extent, we have also met the major measures that you have highlighted here. And if I take you to page 5,
it's on the loans?
No, it's not on the loans.
Okay, I wanted just to exhaust the loans, then
Okay. All right.
you come in. Let's deal with the loans first. Honorable Singombe.
Chairman, thank you very much. PS, thank you so very much for the submission. On the issue of loans, Chair, I wanted to find out from the PS whether there are no systems that inform other banks about these people having borrowed money from CDF. I'm asking this question because if I borrowed money from Zanaco today and then I go to maybe ABSA, they will detect that I have a pending loan. But with CDF, Chair, what I've noticed is that the same people who are borrowing CDF monies and they've not even paid, not even a coin. Again, every government facility that comes, they rush there. Why? Because they've seen, Chair, that this is free money. So if you go to FISIP, banks like those that were mandated to give FISIP, I can safely confirm to you that I know a number of people who got money under this agricultural
the SAF loan.
Yeah, SAF loan. And I don't see them paying back. Why? Because of that degree of, relaxing from the CDF component. So my question is, don't we have a system that informs other banks that such an individual has borrowed from here, hence it does not qualify for any other loan elsewhere? Thank you.
Thank you. PS?
Thank you very much for that important question. Indeed, this would be an important dimension in terms of enforcing controls and ensuring that we deter would-be defaulters. May I, through your chair, allow any one of my colleagues to just come in on that? So I'm not aware of any existing.
Yeah, you can be assisted.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the first one. To introduce myself again, my name is Chazia Msukuma, Assistant Director for Local Government Administration. Just to augment what PS said in terms of putting deterrent measures, especially on principal officers, in terms of recovering, our citizens, Chair and members, should also bear the responsibility. They are aware that 5% they have to pay. What we've done thus far, we have intimated to all local authorities across the country to take stock of all those who obtained loans. That information we've collected is with us. We've submitted it to Attorney General to see how we can explore the legal routes as well. They are just individuals like me, citizens, who have the conscience to know that when I get a credit, I have to pay back. So the principal officers on one end, yes, but also those who get the loan facilities have to be responsible enough to know that it's a concessional rate, 5%, not so much. The difficulty we have, which we are trying to navigate as well, is that the lending institutions, the banks, in order to follow up the defaulters, they require some amount from the CDF, some money for operations. So that is what we are trying to navigate to see how we can work together with them. Otherwise, the local authorities by themselves, not much in terms of following up the defaulters. But we've collected all the names of the defaulters with Attorney General now. That is the status. We wish to know from them once they give us feedback on the way forward. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Maybe just also to let you know that certain banks, they take actually 1 year to disburse these funds to the people, and it is not sitting very well with our people. 1 year, there is no way the local authority approves today and the bank takes 1 year to disburse the monies. That is one area that we need to look at. Chair, thank you so very much.
Yes, PS. That was a comment or?
Yeah, Chair, it was more or less like a comment, but what I wanted them to take note is that when you look at these people who borrow monies, some of their challenges is, for example, a person decides to borrow money to go into grain trading, and then the monies are released in November, December. Then how does such a person pay back the loan? So the banks are also making things so difficult that these people are unable to pay back. So there's need to look into that.
PS?
Chairperson, we've taken note of that guidance and we will look into it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Also, I wanted to make a comment and also join my friends in appreciating the measures that your ministry is putting in place to ensure that you strengthen the loan administration under CDF. This can be married with also the issue of grants. The efforts which are being made by the ministry are well noted, and we follow what you are trying to do. But the issue that Honorable Kamondo, the passion and the emotion that is attached to this issue is why are the councils failing? Recently you were on a tour and the Minister of Local Government, Honorable Sialubaro, made it a point clear in should be Northern Onwapula that loans should be recovered using whatever means. That's how far a minister can go. That's how far a ministry can go. But what happens? Do councils follow what their ministry says? They don't follow what the ministry says. And that's the worry that your committee has. Days we sit here. These are issues that are highlighted, and we even quote the ministry, we quote the PS's circulars, we quote everything, but they don't have courtesy, they don't want to follow, they are in their own world. What is making these councils behave in a manner they are behaving? What has gone wrong? At a certain point, PS, we start thinking that what you are doing, a lot that what you are doing as a ministry, the employer is not moving with the ministry. One is made to conclude. Because if the employer is moving in the tune, in the policy, in the tone, that is coming from your office, actions can be taken. And the human being, they always react to certain actions. They will learn from their friend. If you don't do this, look at what our friend has, what has gone through, what has happened to our friend. But we don't see that. Is on its own of us. And the Zambian people are getting fatigued. these committees every year. We highlight this. AG's office will bring out same things. PS, you are trying to a point where you are short of, as a minister, to start doing it yourselves. So why are councils not adhering to orders and instructions from your ministry, from the president? He came to parliament. Loans must be repaid. So are you going to continue to be allocating monies for loans instead of having this revolving fund? They don't. When they know that they are about to appear to this committee, PS, just some of them, last month or a few weeks, that's when they write warning letters to defaulters of 2023. Then you sit here. We are getting paid allowances by parliament, public resources, to legitimize things that are done wrongly. So we wonder. That's what Honorable Kamondo and Honorable from Siavonga said. Although he was touching the other issue, it borders on the same. The weak culture in our councils. When we bring them, PS, we are just called that there is a report that has come from AG's office. We don't participate. And when we read, like we have already read in the night, prepared for the councils to come, we just read what the AG has highlighted as weaknesses, which you have also done very well, PS, through your report. When you read, they will say, no, this committee is tough. How tough? Are we going to condone these things? So our role is to highlight, bring to open these things that have been happening. The only difference we have seen that now we are live, and the Zambians now say, oh, this is the money our good government has given us. This is how it is being utilized. That's a difference. Otherwise, I wanted to share the passion and the emotion that has come from the first item on loans. Honorable Munda, you can add a word.
Chairperson, I want to come back to the same on the loans before I go to my substantive question. Chairperson, I'm not comfortable with the response from Director, is it Muskuma? I think we met these responses during our interaction with the local authorities, and Chairperson, I want us to make it very clear from the ministry. The ministry should be make this one crystal clear on how the loans shouldn't be managed. We have councils that have been hiding in the banks, that the banks are supposed to take the front row in recovering these loans. We didn't agree with them as a committee. No. We are not agreeing. Why? Because if I walk into the bank today, I walk into Zanaco, Zanaco will ask for collateral from me. Have they asked for collateral from all these people that have been benefiting? No. Why? That money doesn't belong to Zanaco. It's council money. It's CDF money. And on top of that, PS, you as a minister, after giving people, the beneficiaries, the monies, give them a vehicle. The local authorities are giving vehicles to monitor the activities of the beneficiaries. Therefore, it's incumbent upon the local authorities to make sure that the beneficiaries, whatever they applied for, whatever they are doing is functional and they are able to pay. The bank is just facilitating. Of course, it will vet, it will look at your business plan. By then, it will be receiving, it receives the money from the ministry, from local government. It will give it to the beneficiaries. From the beneficiary, it will come. Again, it will go back to the local authorities, a revolving fund. So our stance as a committee is that the people that are supposed to take a front row, the people that are supposed to be in the forefront, is the local authorities. These are the ones that are supposed to be checking on the performance of the loans. Because if the local authorities sit behind, The banks are not the ones that select. The local authorities, through CDFC committees, they identify the people to be given them. It's not the bank. The bank would have asked a lot of questions. You say, no, you don't qualify because of ABC, our standards. But the standards from the council, the CDFC committee, we qualified those people. Therefore, it's our duty. We have an obligation to make sure that the people that we thought would be able to do that should be able to pay back. I thought, Chairperson, I should make that comment.
Thank you very much.
Before I go to my question.
You have done well. PS, that is the position. And that's the position of your committee. For example, Chasefu, I will give my own counsel. Every moment they undertake, if you the Bureau draws the check, every moment they undertake an exercise to visit these loan beneficiaries, a lot of money is repaid. We have given monies from the revolving fund, 700, 1 million. They sit back, nothing happens. So it's an attitude issue. So if you want this to work, it's not the banks, it's the councils. They are the ones who know the villages and everything. Then we take to the bank as a conduit, pay these, although they do some little vetting. But if they are got through the real vetting by the bank, no one would qualify. You know that. So we want to appreciate what you are doing, empower Zambian people, but loans, so that others also can. That is the position that we had on the loans. I think we have done enough. You can ask your.
Thank you very much,
substantive point.
My question, Chairperson, is that this report acknowledges the weaknesses. This report gives the hints, the remedies that are supposed to be applicable in order for government, in order for the local authorities to be able to function, in order for the government to achieve its goals, which is to empower its people and make sure that the standards, the living standards of our people are raised. Now, Chairperson, when I look at what has been highlighted, I was going to page 5, because compliance, PS, should not start with our people in the villages, should not start with the beneficiaries. The biggest problem we have is the compliance from the officers, from the local authorities. You have sent all the guidelines, you have sent all the circulars, they are not compliant. That is the biggest thing. All the weaknesses you have highlighted, everything here, you have fed them, we have given them, but they don't follow, they are not compliant. How do you expect the third party to be compliant? No ways. So the compliance starts with your officers. When we ask internal auditors at times, they keep quiet. Didn't you read this regulation number 20 or anywhere? They will say we have read, but they will do something else. We regret. It was an oversight. Those are the responses we get from your people. So your people are not compliant. Whatever you feed them, PS, they don't get it. Now I'm comforted. I want to get just a comfort from you, PS, on page 5. That is a ministry, you have the ministry. In response, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has implemented punitive measures for non-compliant local authorities. On page 5, the last paragraph. So maybe you can comfort us as a committee, because your children, the local authorities, are difficult to manage. So maybe 1 or 2 measures that you have implemented, punitive measures, that will make these people compliant. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. That also appreciates the efforts that you are doing as a ministry. We are aware, but we are not seeing any result. What is it that you can comfort this committee with all your efforts, PS, that you are doing, that one day this country will be a changed country? And he has pointed that everyone knows it's the councils. What comfort do we get, PS?
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and indeed the points are well noted, in particular the issues around accountability and ensuring optimal utilization of public resources. In terms of the punitive measures that have been implemented, is that the Ministry is now officially communicating and recommending disciplinary action against officers who are non-compliant and those who fail to adhere to specific provisions of any particular circular. Very recently, for example, Chairperson, when we requested funding for CDF from Ministry of Finance, they reported asking us what are the balances for the local authorities before we can release funds, because what we are seeing is that there's a lot of money sitting at the local authorities on an aggregate level. So we wrote to the local authorities, gave them a timeline to say we need an updated balance sheet from yourselves telling us how much money you have sitting there, because this will be the basis upon which funds will be released. So not all local authorities responded to the circular. I think we had 56 out of 116 local authorities who responded, and the balance at the time was around 400 million out of the 56. From this 400 million, we went ahead, requested resources from Ministry of Finance. They released about 300 million. I think they're about 400 million. Then we applied it, and then what went to local authorities was just north of 300 million. Immediately we received funds from Ministry of Finance. We funded, because the Ministry of Finance, including ourselves, have issued a circular to local authorities indicating that there's a zero-based balance approach to funding. Funding must be on a needs basis. Not necessarily to punish recipients, ultimately the communities of the authorities themselves, but to also demonstrate evidence of a lack of performance for specific local authorities, so that they can, a certain amount of punishment can be meted out to them. So when we received this, we funded local authorities that had no money. Then within a week, we noticed that local authorities that had money had spent their money and they were crying for money as well. So already, you can tell that our approach to only funding those without money is bearing fruit, in the sense that they are recognizing that if we don't spend this money, no money will be coming to us. I think that's the aim for that Ministry of Finance has provided. So out of the 56, we funded about 33 thereabouts, because they're way below $1 million. Some of them had used up; they were just in thousands, just a few thousands. And immediately some local authorities heard that their friends were being funded. They went ahead and spent the money, and in a couple of days were asking for resources despite not having. Now what we did is, in our funding advice to local authorities, we also made a recommendation to Local Government Service Commission to say, these are the local authorities who provided details. We asked for them. Can you go ahead and take disciplinary action against them? And we feel that that standpoint is going to produce some positive dividends in terms of at least CDF utilization, Chairperson. One, correspondence to Ministry of Finance in respect of funds requirement, enforcing the circulars in respect of zero-based budget, and recommendation to Local Government Service Commission. So we also see that there's improved communication between the Ministry and Local Government Service Commission in terms of the appropriate punishment that will be meted out by the Commission itself. I submit.
Thank you, PS. Before I allow Honorable, it's quite sad, this committee of yours. We salute you for the actions and the, whatever you are doing at the ministry in order to help. Now, look at this, PS. If I'm a member of parliament who doesn't take interest, I wanted you as a ministry to know how the process is. When the WDCs will generate the needs of the people, it will come to the CDF committee, where a member of parliament will sit. After I make approvals, we decide there. the member of parliament is no longer in the equation. We are now at the mercy of these officers. They will not tell you how much money is sitting there. What you just see as a member of parliament, projects stored. You ask them, why are contractors not moving? Contractors are not being paid. Things are not moving. The people are asking who? Not the officers. They are asking the member of parliament. Things are not moving in this constituency. And yet the member of parliament is not in the equation. The president has released the money through you as a ministry. The members of parliament will meet. But now the councils will take over. And they can do whatever. You cannot go in. Yesterday we had the case here. Here, Dundumwezi constituency. I'll give an example because he's here. 2023 PS. 1,670 something thousand in their accounts from 2023 to buy a water bowser. The council officers recommend from outside China, a company that they don't even understand well, leaving local companies. The MP says we want a water bowser. Then they say no, we are going to buy a 20,000 liter. Is it 20,000? 20,000 liter water bowser. Then that supplier from outside, you know, I don't want to say cheats them that the bowsers come. It was supposed to be 1.4, then VAT to 1.6 something from 2023. Now, this water bowser, locally there is a water bowser costing in the same range, but it is 18,000 liters. The council officers insist that we want to buy from a company abroad, which is 20,000 liters. And they have not procured that water bowser up to now. So I want to marry this to your issue, PS, where you say there are councils keeping money. That money is sitting in a Dundumwezi account. And he has been complaining. They still insist for a company that they don't even know. What is the interest? Now, this is a member of parliament who made already a position that this should be done. Now, he comes here because he's privileged to sit on this committee to breathe out. What more these members of parliament who don't have that opportunity to come to your office to say I have a problem with these officers? Their interest, the procurement officers and whoever is in interest to do whatever they want to do. This is what Honorable Mulunda is saying. This is what your committee is saying, PS. We are with you. Now, is the commission moving the way you are moving? The way every Zambian is expecting them to move? What we saw was just some demotion of 6. Those were done even before these deliberations. After these deliberations, PS, we are yet to see. If we want to see the policy of our president achieved for the benefit of these Zambians, we must be candid, talk to each other and face them. Whoever is frustrating the government should be taken out. PS, there are so many people there. I've got a report here, PS, 67. What we have done as a committee, I've been writing down officers without looking at their faces, and we are going to submit it tomorrow to the commission. Just because we are Zambians, we feel it is beyond our... But we feel that we should put it on record, because it cannot be business as usual, PS. These are public resources. You as a ministry are doing something, but is the commission moving with you? Is the commission moving with the committee on behalf of the Zambian people? The answer is no. We are yet to see more. Look at this case. An engineer, I'll mention the name, I'm the chair, I'm here. An engineer, they collude from Mushindamo to pay themselves 1 million at a go without following the milestones recorded and IPCs. There is a contract to do 3 projects. Total was 1 million something. They go ahead. A director of engineering, council secretary says you are going to act. He acts on the management convenience. Within 2 days, he asks the deputy director of engineering to write a recommendation for payment. Himself as acting, he signs it. Without going to the director of finance, without going to other directors, he signs himself. Without taking it to audit, he signs himself and he goes to the CDF chairperson. Can you sign here? 1 million he released, PS, in a day. Works not completed. Monies all over. Now you sit here as a committee on behalf of the Zambian people. The Auditor General's office has viewed them. We sit here. We make recommendations. Or we just talk about them. The Zambians are watching. What is the Ministry of Law Government? So, the issue comes that if there is no action taken, they will say the Ministry of Local Government. They will not say the Commission. Because the Commission ourselves is the Ministry of Local Government. So are we moving together to correct these things? Is it the desire of government, of the people of Zambia, that certain of individuals who are doing things with impunity are being spared? What? So you see that no audit was done, himself alone, and the money is out. And there is another case I was reading in the night here. It's coming today, this afternoon. Watch the council that is coming, Solowezi. It's the mother of all. So what are we doing? Is it the desire of our government that this money should be administered like this? So it is you and ourselves, PS, to ensure that we put corrective measures. So I just wanted to tell you that watch for internal auditors, procurement officers, and the directors of engineering. They are colluding with contractors. There is a contractor, one of them, I've forgotten the name, in the northern, 2023. One contractor in so many districts getting contracts using a certain insurance company. What is that insurance company? Advance insurance. There is an insurance company, take interest, that does not pay these insurance bonds. They don't cash. It's happening in so many. And what he does, that contractor, he will get a contract in this council. They don't do anything. They get even more than what they are supposed to get as advance payment. Then they abandon. Then the councils, because they are colluding with the procurement officers, they go back to the CDF committees to apply for more funding. The same product, a project that could have costed 800,000, it's costing 1.5 million. Because they will do variation after variation. And we have seen your report. You have seen how they don't mind about your ministry. They will do variations without authority. So, another company in Northwestern Province, there is another company also, which has been doing the same thing that other contractors are doing. And they are coming from Lusaka here. They will go there. So, when we observe this, PS, we are human. We are Zambians. We want to see better things. After the enhanced CDF, we cannot keep quiet. And when you hear your officers, when they meet, you say, no, committee, Honorable Nyambose, we are highlighting what the auditors have said. We have just refused to be compromised. So we shall bring out issues as they stand, this committee of yours. And we shall not look at whoever is doing wrong things, undermining government policy, is undermining the president, and is undermining the people. Because this now has aroused a lot of interest. People want to see projects. They just hear some councils commissioning projects. In their communities, they don't see them because they have got wrong officers. So, I was just trying to talk to you, generally appreciating your report. But what Honorable Munda said, this has been coming out. What are we doing? Your committee is saying that we want actions. And these names, we shall print them, we shall share with you. Within 2023, a council, after the CDF committees, they approve projects in May 2023. Up to December, zero implementation. And when we read them, they say, hey, it's not possible. It is there. And the audits by AG's office are done the other year. Nothing is implemented. Now they will come and tell you, oh, PS, come and see. That committee was saying nothing. They only implemented in 2024, December, and 2025. Projects for 2022. Is that in line with what the president has said? That a project should be implemented within the shortest period, at the right cost, and the best quality. Projects are cracking and crumbling before handover because you have given them vehicles for monitoring, they don't use them. The people who do monitoring are juniors who are not competent. We give them an example of that civic center in Osaka or Okitwe City Council buildings, those which are done by UNIP time. Can you compare with what we are doing now? We need to do better. So the issue of engineers, procurement officers, and the audit section, these are the dangers to the CDF, these departments. These departments, once we strengthen these, we shall see the best for this country. I wanted also to talk about the office of the PRO. PS, can you help the office of the provincial government officers? Most of them are just seen going around to councils to collect the checks that you have empowered them. Nothing happens. If you cannot move them around, they have become compromised. Move them around so that they can help your office to supervise and monitor the performances of the councils. Quarterly reviews, as indicated in your report, are not done by councils. Before external auditors come, the provincial government officers, they should have gone around to see that things are put in place. They should also move with you, with the vision. They are not moving with the vision. If they are moving with the vision, they know audits are coming in my province. Councils, are you prepared? Are the documents in place? That's part of their duty to ensure that councils are ready. But they don't do that. Then councils, PS, take interest. The Charimbana issue, where they go to Charimbana to prepare to answer audit. I've certain information from Eastern Province. A council spending 140,000 kwacha just to prepare stationery with 140,000 kwacha to prepare to answer a audit. Some of the queries that we resolve, provincial audit, local government offices is effective, if the internal audit system is effective, these audits can be dropped. PS, we can have zero audits. But it's become now a cash cow where we know that we should go and appear, make allowances. In the future, PS, all those who are going to appear, who are coming in 2024, do not allow them to be paid any allowance. Just allow them fuel that you should regulate. You will see that audit queries will drop. On this one, PS, some of these are against the entitlements, but I think we should, as a country, we should start doing the correct things. Because some of the queries, PS, they can't be queries. They will tell you that during the time the auditors came, the document was not there. We have since come with it. Those are the audit queries we should be talking about. So a council spending over 100,000. I want you, through your office, investigate how much they spend preparing the documents and coming here. That money can deliver services for the people of this country in their jurisdictions. Okay.
Chair, I would like to find out from the PS what the chair has just spoken. Actually, that is what is happening in our councils. And from our observation, we have lost a lot of money from CDF through these contractors. You will find it doesn't actually insert the provision of liquidated damages. And on that, you find the same council, maybe more than 3 projects. And from those 3 projects, those contracts which were signed, all of them have stored. And most of them have stored actually for more than, maybe more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, why is it that, first of all, the liquidated damages were not inserted in the contract? Why? Whose mistake was that? That is where you heard actually now the chair that the councils, most of the councils, not all of them, it's like they agree, connive with the contractors, deliberately to leave that, so that we lose actually the money. When are you going to know? We forgot actually to put in these liquidated damages in the contract. And indeed, when you look at the contracts, there is nothing. Now the question that we ask, was it deliberate? And why is it that the same contracts are the ones that have stored? And it took actually the auditors now to find that query. That is when now they would start responding. So there is that suspicion now that I think our councils are not even helping us at all. So all these actually measures we have put in place, we have agreed with you. But we are just highlighting those issues. This is happening. I thought maybe
then I will conclude, then PS will make a comment.
Chair, thank you very much. I think, Chair, you have summed it all. To be honest with you, PS, there is need to go back and see where we went wrong. Sitting here in Lusaka, we will not add any value to the people that we were supposed to preside over. A lot of your members of parliament have a lot of uphill battles because everything is just wrong. Not today, not yesterday, but many years ago. And we need to look at how best we can change the narrative. My short question is on the zero-based balance. For me, it is one item I think that is making my constituents not to move, giving it as an example. Because what is happening, I don't know whether you also count retention funds to come to zero. Because there's no way we can have a zero-based policy with a project that is supposed to maybe, whose retention period is 6 months. It means the constituency will just sit waiting to pay out these monies, Chair. So I wanted them to confirm to me whether zero-based balance includes the retention funds. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just conclude, because we have other meetings. Then take note of that important one that you can respond to. PS, in my conclusion, I want also to talk about chief's palaces. From the audits that we have been looking at, we have seen that the chief's palaces which were centrally procured have not made progress compared to a CDF project. We are wondering what is the issue about chief's palaces. The progress that are being recorded are not at the same speed like those procured under CDF. You procure a CDF project with a good contractor and everything in place. A CDF project to be done within 12 weeks or 16 weeks, it will be concluded. But chief's palaces are taking long. So we say that this matter, put it aside, we have the PS to come. Is it because of the central administration that we are not moving very fast? This money is coming from CDF, although it is being administered centrally through instruction from the office. We wanted you to take note of that. The other issue that I wanted to talk about is the issue of schools bursaries and skills bursaries. Students, some of them not reporting. There was a circular from your ministry that stopped councils from doing physical verification. Our appeal is to your office to revisit this circular, formalized by allowing specific people, let's say planning department and audit, maybe a certain number that can be regulated to be doing physical verification before payments are made to these colleges. Then besides that, I don't know how you can, as a ministry, sit down and start regulating the charges that these colleges are coming up with. Find a way of sitting down with the universities and colleges. They are taking advantage of the CDF, enhanced CDF. The monies that we are paying for our pupils and students is going out of hand. And if not, it will be swallowing most of the money, and the benefits our students are not getting the support that is commensurate to the money that we are paying for them. Right now, some of the students, to get food hamper, they struggle whilst the monies have been paid to these colleges. So I wanted you to find a way, yes, enhance CDF to support very well intentioned policy, but the colleges now are hiking the fees that now are going to kill this CDF. Maybe later you start, if those who cannot comply, pick a few colleges that you can recommend that can be working with government and giving the value that our students and the government will get, than these colleges and universities that now are inflating the fees and not giving the support to our students. So we must revisit the circular that at maybe twice there is a monitoring to see that the students who are sent to a college, after certain months you go to verify again whether they are in college, and we are paying for them, that they are getting the training. Then the other one is I've mentioned part of the story. When the MPs meet, the CDF, councils are taking long to convene the evaluation committees. The procurement process, they take their time. And you have no control. We are appealing. After the CDF committee makes a resolution and the EGP system, the procurement is done, come up with the timelines, PS, regulate, so that whatever the case, we are able to see these projects implemented timely. The delays are being caused. No, there's no one member we cannot meet. Evaluation committee has not met. No procurement is yet to meet. And you have no control. So this is unnecessarily delaying the project. So all in all, PS, I wanted also to appreciate that the mopping of funds at this point, I'm in support, or we are in support, because people should know that money is being kept in the bank without being utilized. People should explain. So those officers follow them so that immediately that they need the money, pay them, recommend for their punishment. Then the last one is they have, Honorable Munda mentioned, they have lost respect. When you do a secular, they don't follow it. But this we shall deal with the commission, but we have appealed through you, because you see, you are Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. You are. At the end of the day, the buck stops at you. So we are with you in these issues. And we shall do our best to give you any information that we feel that you should look at, so that we improve the administration of the enhanced constituency development fund, so that the Zambian people see the benefit. So, more peace allocation. We had Mwinlunga yesterday. From 2022, 42 projects. 2023, 18 projects. Or in total, is it 60? Done very few. Now, 2025, they're going to procure machinery, meaning that those are still outstanding. They gave us, we stopped. We were giving 200,000, not completing. 600. So these projects are still there. So if you can guide, again, strongly, that no more, what do we call it? Partial allocation of projects, they need to help. A project should be started within a short period, completed and handed over, so that it benefits the people. Otherwise, PS, we enjoy when we see you, we breathe out, and these are observations. We shall continue engaging you, but we appeal to your office, PS. This committee of yours and the AG's office is there to help you making these criminal proceedings. We shall give you, please help us. People should be arrested. They are doing wrong things with impunity, so that we can deter those who would want to do the same. With that, I want to ask you to make some comments and also answer the question that came from Honorable Singombe. I will ask also the AG's office to make some comments so that we can conclude. We have another meeting at 11:30. Yes, PS.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I'll start from the submission on liquidated damages and indicate indeed that it's a standard contract that is cleared through Attorney General's office. And this clause is a standard provision within the contract itself. So where this is in order to safeguard public resources and ensure that recoveries can be initiated where required. So if that's not there, then there must be something that is worth looking into. On the zero-based balance question, in general, when Ministry of Finance makes an allocation for CDF, they don't indicate for which projects the money is going. So even the idea of retention, it appears to be something that is being orchestrated at the local authority level. And I learned that when I undertook some visits in Northern Province and Luapula as well as Central Province, where principal officers were holding on to funds for specific transactions. No, we have this 2 million here. We can't use it just yet because we're waiting for a flatbed to be delivered, or we're waiting for this and that to be done. I said, no, CDF money will be provided to you when you have. So the first question you ask is, do you have any other obligations as a local authority? Yes, we do have other obligations. We haven't paid bursaries, we haven't done it. So why aren't you spending this money on there? Because when you were funded, that money condition that you must buy a flatbed or you must buy an excavator or something like that. You must spend the money on the existing obligations. So we have advised them to not commit funds and spend those funds as they come, because that's the only way that we're going to enhance utilization. That's the only way we're going to enhance utilization. So even when you consider the issue of retention, there is no such thing as retention, because Ministry of Finance is funding continuously and there's a budget provision for that particular year. So until funds have been spent, further funds are problematic in their release, because Ministry of Finance has already provided the guidance, at least in terms of ensuring that money is not sitting idly. Chairperson, I appreciate your submission on bursaries and the guidance that we should revisit the issue of verification before payments to colleges. We will look into that, and thank you very much for highlighting that, and also the issue around accredited colleges, and in particular dealing with those that are not behaving in a way that's exploitative, and especially in the face that there's awareness of resources present from the government. We've taken note, Chairperson, of procurement process delays, and in particular the constitution and execution of the mandate of an evaluation committee. That's something that we'll look into. If there are specific examples where, for example, we find that there are unnecessary delays in the constitution and execution of responsibilities of evaluation committees, we will follow those through and make recommendations to the Service Commission. Chairperson, in terms of Chief's Palaces, I am with the clerk, House of Chiefs, as well as the director from Rural Development, who are implementing this. If you permit, just very briefly for them to just come through, just to highlight what the challenges are. But I will emphasize that indeed there is a concern, and last week we met with the Zambia Correctional Service to iron out what the challenges were, and immediately we issued out a communique of dissatisfaction from ourselves and an indication that there is need to expedite process. So it's a confluence and interaction of a complex set of problems in relation to the delays, but most of those delays should be unbundled in the next coming weeks, and we should expect to see some substantial progress, Chairperson. At this point, if you allow, I'll ask the Clerk, House of Chiefs, as well as Director of Development to make a comment, but otherwise from my end, I submit, Chairperson.
Thank you. Clerk, you can make some comment of...
Thank you, Chairperson. I think we have noted that where Zambia Correctional Services are, they are in 7 provinces out of the 10. So maybe they took on more than they should have, because where they are private contractors, the progress is better than where correctional services are. So maybe they took on too much. They underestimated they underestimated the projects. I think that's what I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And just to agree with what the clerk just mentioned, we noticed there are some partly administrative issues that we have come across in the execution of these projects. There are instances we've noticed sometimes instructions could take too long to be implemented on site. If you look at contractually, it should be a straightforward thing where the contract manager on site will issue instructions and it should be implemented. But then ZCS, for example, have got their own hierarchy where the one supervising says, I can't take the instructions from you, so it has to come through the chain of command. So there have been some issues that we have been dealing with, like the PS has said. So we hope that going forward, we hope to see an improvement in the progress in the way that these projects are being implemented. There's a difference with the private contractors. There the progress is pretty much more than for the ZCS, and the majority of the projects that we have for chiefs palaces are with ZCS. So we hope that we will see some improvement on that. I thank you.
Thank you. AG's office, any comment within 3 minutes or 5?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, PS. I think, first of all, to just thank the PS, I think, for the submission. I think it a lot of... But I think the major issue, I think, from our audit is that we would like to see a situation whereby these audit queries are reducing. As you are aware from after these deliberations, we can verify submissions of the various council secretaries as they submitted. We will be able to verify issues, unlike having a situation whereby chairperson that we start increasing these outstanding issues. I think again, as an office, it's a big concern. So we really urge all the parties, I think the accountants, the internal audit, to help the controlling officer. I think that, you know, some of these issues are really worked on, especially from the deliberation, that indeed we want to see tangible action being undertaken. I think the Finance Act, if you read it, is very clear on what we need to do on some of these observations. So if we follow what the Finance Act says, I'm sure we'll be able to really reduce, and because we'll be as the Honorable from Fungwe said, the punitive action. I think that has to be also seen. So with that, Chairperson, we'll wait for your recommendations after this, and also from the ST, they'll make their treasury, and then we'll come and be able to verify and issue a proper status again to the committee. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. PS, I will be failing if I don't indicate that CDF is a game changer. That's a fact. And we want to pray that this continues. And I want to confirm that there are councils which are doing very well. There are councils we are going to share with you. Chief officers doing very well in these councils. But some of them, those who we know, are not doing very well. So we shall share you both reports. But indeed, CDF, that we continue with what we are doing, is changing the lives of the people of Zambia. And it's changing the outlook of the communities. So people are expectant. But as a committee, we are happy. We shall support your office as usual. With this said, I want to say the immunity that was earlier conferred on you is hereby removed. From now on, PS, you are on your own. Now you can be called Mbwe Mbwe Mbwe. He has come. Thank you very much, PS and the team, for this interaction. Your money has come. Thank you, PS.
Good morning. Thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has just received submissions from the PS Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Dr. Gabriel Pollen, together with the team, and they were making their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. The Committee on Local Government Accounts is later in the afternoon expected to receive submissions from Solowezi Municipal Council and Manyinga Town Council. My name is Matimba Mkua on Sign Language. I was joined by Jason Manda and Chola Kauma. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.